Hey, what's up? This is Sifu Cuddle, and I just recently got the Swallowtail Spearhead from LK Chen. This is based off of spearheads that were in the Han Dynasty, so quite a while back, almost 2,000 years ago, and I wanted to make this very traditional. So to mount it on the beechwood pole that I have, I actually carved right here. You can see I actually trimmed everything down so it sits in quite nicely, and then I secured it with a bamboo pin. So I wanted to go real traditional on this one, and I even ended up getting a horsehair style tassel for this. So this is not synthetic, this is actual horsehair that's been dyed. It's a little bit more expensive, but it really does make a difference in comparison to the other ones that you typically get. In looking to tie the tassel on, I wanted to check some references and make sure that I was doing it correctly, and there's really nothing out there on the internet. So I've been lucky in the past that when I purchased spears, they've already had the tassel tied on. Or sometimes you get a different type of spearhead where when you put it on, you can actually just tuck the tassel in the spearhead, put it on the spear, and then secure it. So this is the way that I've done it. I don't know if this is the official way or the best way. So if you know a better way, make a video, tag me in it, and I would love to see it. I'll share it and make sure it gets out to as many people as possible. But for the meantime, this will have to do for the community. And overall, I believe it's actually quite a very simple thing. We're gonna get an appearance where it's not just tying it around and we just have the collar right here, but we're gonna get a bulb kind of shape at the top. It's gonna bulb outward and then the tassel will come down. So for this, I'm gonna go a little bit more on the traditional route. I have 2 extra pieces of string that I'm going to use, as well as the string that's included with the tassel. But if it's up to you guys too, I would suggest maybe even using like an elastic band and even some tape to keep it in the same spot on the spear pole. But that's up to you. You can see as we do this. So let's get to it. All right, so the first thing you want to do is figure out which side of the tassel you want facing outward. Now, if you notice on my tassel, there's a bunch of short ends on this side, and it doesn't show on the other side. So I definitely want to have this side facing outward. Now, if your tassel is the same either way, then you don't really have to worry about that. But for me, this is going to come into play, and it's very important. So I want to make sure I know which side is facing out. Now, this may seem a little bit strange. I'm going to keep this end that I want on the inside. I'm going to wrap it around the spear on the outside, and the spear tassels are going to go towards the spear head. So almost as if I'm putting it on upside down. It's up to you how you want to tie it. If you want to use individual strings to tie with each other, I like to loop these around a little bit more to really get a nice tight cinch around. And I'm just going to keep both of the strings together. You can tie one string to the other, but I'm going to just keep these together and really cinch in nice and tight, because this is one of 3 secure knots that I'm going to have on this. So now when you're done securing this knot, this is where you're either going to use an elastic and place it over this, or like me, I'm going to be using another string to keep it, I guess, more traditional in that respect. And what we're going to do is simply just wrap this again and tie it once more. So depending on the length of your string, you'll have to either cut or you can tuck in the ends. But we're just going to secure this with a nice simple knot, and then I'm going to tuck the free ends back in underneath to keep this secure. I just need it to sit. It's really not going to be doing much other than keeping the nice bulb shape. Now it gets pretty easy. What we're going to do is just take the spear tassel, and then we want to peel it back so that we get this nice coverage over our last string. And you're going to take some time to make sure this looks good, make sure all of the tassel comes back. And then what we're going to do is take one last string and then secure it around. Okay, so now I have this nice bulb shape. I'm going to take my final string and I'm going to wrap it around and tie it. Now normally I would do this with the staff straight up and down, but for clarity for this video, I'm going to be doing it kind of one-handed here and horizontally. But you can see it still maintains its shape. And then once I have it in a nice position, I can start tying it off. And I want to just cinch it up nice and tight. And this should be below my original knot. So now we have knots above and below the original one. And then from here, just tie it up. And then again, once I'm done tying it and cinching it, I'm just gonna take these free ends and tuck them under. Okay, so that pretty much does it. As you can see, I've twisted over the ends and tied them and tucked them into the rest of the coil, so it's going to hold pretty secure. Now the thing about this is it is quite secure considering we've tied it in 3 places, and one of the things about this is it's great for just your regular spear play and practice for forms training. Now I can't guarantee this is going to be a solid hold if you start sparring with people with a spear. You may find that it gets knocked around, pushed up or down your pole, and in that case I would suggest when you tie your very first knot, just take some tape. Some good vinyl tape works well, wrap it around there and secure it to the staff itself, and then you can do pretty much the rest of it the same way, whether you want to use an elastic band for underneath where it bulbs out, or do a string like I did. So you have a couple of options there. But honestly, I think this looks really nice, especially with the string wrapped like this in the coil. I like the way it bulbs out, and you have some flexibility here as to how much you want to bulb outward or not bulb outward. You can push a little bit of the horsehair upward, or you can end up pulling it back downward and it'll change the shape right here. And you can always have some maintenance for that. If you need to, you can always untie it, take it apart, retie it. So let me know what you guys think. If you have a better way of doing this, tag me in it. This is how I've done it in the past, but it's by no means an official way of doing it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Otherwise, have fun with your spear, and I'll see you guys in the next video.